and welcome to the Knitworthy podcast. Hello, friends. We are back, and we apologize for the long duration of our break, but we will let you know what happened, and we'll talk about that at the end of the podcast if you would like the family update. If not, then you can turn us off after that or before that point. But yeah, it's been interesting.
It has.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah.
I love what you're wearing.
Thank you so much. This is my Adama by Hilary Smith Callis. And
it's really beautiful.
Thank you. This is, I'll talk about it in, what I finished, but
yeah,
thank you.
It's gorgeous.
Thank you so much.
And really a perfect yarn to wear with a blue jean too, because it's got the blues and the greens, and it just really is a heathered look, kind of like jeany material.
I think what I like about this is that it'll go with a lot of things that I already own.
Yeah.
You know, grays and blacks and browns and blues, white.
Right.
Rainbow.
Gray. Clown colors.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I could wear this with anything. Probably not really, but that's okay.
I'm wearing my sock blankie on my lap.
It's gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
Whoops, I just dropped it.
I'm
actually winding on. This is a 5-gram mini from the Sock Yarn Swappers group. I found them on Facebook, but now we're operating on Ravelry also. Mm-hmm. And it's Fiber Nymph Dye Works, and it's called Doubletree. It's really going to be pretty, I think. It starts out with this kind of cocoa color, or maybe not cocoa, maybe a walnut color, and this beautiful blue that goes into greens and browns.
Isn't that pretty?
So I think that's going to be a really fun one.
Yeah.
Sometimes I just knit off of the circle, but I thought I'd be a little too distracted, and I might end up making a big knot. So decided to wind it first.
That's a good idea. When in doubt, wind.
Right.
That's a new saying. I just made that up.
You are amazing.
Thank you.
I'm going to call you Brianne Webster.
Wow. I like it. So she has a new swap thing going where they're doing it by colors.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Yes.
Have you done any of her swaps?
I have not, because I don't have any scrappy kind of projects on the needles.
Well, I did want to mention too is that I think it's like I forget what she calls it when you don't actually have anything to swap, which I don't because I keep all of yours.
Yes.
But it's a no swap, I think it's called.
Right.
Where you actually get samples, like this is what this one was, Fiber Nymph Dye Works samples, which is so fun.
Yeah.
And to be able to try some of these people that are sometimes a little bit hard to get a hold of as far as, when they are releasing yarn. Sometimes it goes quickly, but also to get a chance to work with their bases and see how they do their colors.
Absolutely.
It's a really fun thing. And I think they are still doing where you can swap from your stash to get more variety and that kind of thing.
We will link to that group in the show notes at knitworthypodcast.com. So if you're interested in doing this swap with the other people, then we'll let you know about that. And then I also said that I would, that I would mention another group that's doing a like an along right now. I know it's halfway through the month, and I'm so sorry, but I said that I would mention it. It's the Faith Love Crafts group.
Oh, that's right.
And they're doing a craftathon right now, and so I think that you should check it out if you'd like. It's on Ravelry.
Yes.
So
and ours kind of, because of what we'll be explaining later, we have kind of hit the wall a bit. We are still creating, but not in any organized way.
No.
So yeah, do check these out. Summertime, there's sometimes, it depends. Do you feel like you have more time in the summer or less because the kids are home?
You know, it really kind of depends. It's hard to say. Sometimes it feels like more.
Yeah.
And then sometimes I feel like I spend my whole day refereeing and, you know, getting the kids to places. And
that really infringes on knitting time, doesn't it?
It does. The nerve of my children needing me.
Stop touching me. They're touching me.
Exactly. She looked at me.
It's my turn to do this.
That's
yeah,
right.
Whatever.
Yeah, they've all heard it, I'm sure.
They probably have.
Yeah. So let me get back to our notes.
What have you been working on? That's what I want to know.
Oh my goodness. I have been doing a ton.
You have.
I have. Let me put this down really quick. And then
I still,
can make room.
in my efforts to not make a knot, I made a knot.
Well, there you go. The first thing that I've been working on is my cheer socks. And so
Now, is this because you're a cheerleader?
No, it's because it's the name of the yarn colorway. But here we go. Here's the first one. When these are knit cuff down and with a heel flap, and as you can see, I was so happy last time because the striping sequence worked out perfectly.
And you wanted it to match on the second one.
I did, and I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to pull it off. So here's where I was the last time. I was right to here. And now here I am on the second sock. And if you will notice, I managed to pull it off.
Oh, wow. High fives. Way to
Thank
go.
you very much. So I actually am at toe decreases on this sock. And so I'm moving right along. I should have these finished by the next time we chat. And I'm excited. I think it's really funny.
It's wonderful when it works out like that.
It does. And I was really nervous that I wouldn't be able to get it to work. But it worked out exactly right. And so I have no idea. I think it's just, you know, a little bit of grace for me during this time. The Lord was like, she needs some matching socks, darn it.
Right.
And so he gave them to me.
You know, he's the Lord of the knitting also. Is that what you're saying?
It's true.
Okay.
Yes.
Good to hear.
I started another pair of socks, which should just be shocking to anybody who knows me. Because, you know, heaven forbid that I only have one pair of socks on the needles. Which I will only have one pair of socks on the needles. I think the next pair of socks I'm going to cast on will be patterned, though.
Really?
Yeah. Not anything, you know, really terribly intricate.
You just want to challenge yourself?
Well, a little bit.
Or you just want some variety?
Just some variety, I think. So these, I should have brought the box down, but it's currently holding scraps by my bed.
Ah.
But these socks, this yarn is from Stray Cat Socks out of New Zealand. And this is the, it's 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. And this is the Hopeful Heather colorway. And these socks will become a pair of socks for my sister.
I love it.
Yeah. So this is the first sock. I just cast these on a couple days ago. And I think that they're really pretty. I like the colors.
They are very pretty.
They're just bright and cheerful, and I like the purple with the green. I think that's a really nice combination.
Really pretty. It is, can you hold it up again?
Yeah.
Yeah. I just want to be sure the colors were looking, they're looking a little bit more kind of fluorescent on screen, but they are a little more subtle in person, but still happy.
Yes, very happy. So that's what I've been working on.
Very good.
Yes. What have you been working on, Mama Linda?
Of course, sock yarn blanket.
Yes. You've made a lot of progress on that.
I have. Let me pick up one more stitch so my stitch marker doesn't come off.
Well, okay.
All right. What I thought I would share today is my new plan for how I'm doing the sock yarn blanket.
Yes.
And you might be able to see, let's see if I can get it. Oh, I'm doing my microphone again, aren't I? All right, help me hold this then.
Yes, I can do that.
So this is the bottom corner, and you can see that what I'm doing is I had a lot of this yarn, which is this one, and it was a gift.
Beautiful.
And I have another skein of it, so I thought it was a good one to, I'm taking this yarn up through the middle diagonal.
Oh, that's a great idea.
So since I have a lot of it, it's going to be a common pattern in there. Then what I'm doing is, because I don't care about repeats, most of my skeins not the little swap skeins, although in that group you have the option of doing larger skeins too, of sample yarns. But like the ones I have, I think I said were 5 gram. I think they have some 10 gram. This is how they come, little 10 gram swaps. But of the leftovers from your socks, I usually have enough to do at least
17, 18.
Okay, you don't do long cuffs, so. So what I do is, in the middle, I'm always doing this particular one, and then I'm doing one on this side, one on this side.
Oh, look at that.
Now you can particularly notice it on the white one because it's so starkly different than the rest. But I'm not trying to worry about where it's placed, that it's placed in exactly the same place, but that it is at least to the left and the right of center.
Okay.
In which I always know center now because, hello.
There you go.
And so I thought what that might do, and my plan was that maybe that'll make it look balanced.
Oh, yeah.
Because you get a pink on one side, a pink on the other side, you know, and so on and so forth. So I don't know. I know that there are people that want amazing diversity, and I don't know how else people are doing them because I don't really like research it. But for me, I thought this kind of makes it nice to me because it will, I think maybe we'll make it a little bit more balanced without having to, you know, be a color expert and say, you know, whatever. So that's what I'm doing. I am enjoying it. It's really fun to, I mean, it is definitely because where you use, you have knit stripy socks and things like that. It really is so much fun and so good at, it is definitely mindless now because I've done enough to, I don't have to think about it. And so that makes it extra fun too.
Yeah.
And no heels.
Hello. All the fun of socks, all the fun of sock yarn, no heels.
No heels.
It's like perfection.
It is really.
Why am I not doing one of these?
I don't know.
Okay.
Because you want to save all your scraps for me?
Yes.
How nice of you.
I am that generous.
You are that generous.
Yes.
So really that has taken my knitting just be out of choice because I enjoyed doing it and I could put it down and pick it back up and not have to figure out where I am or anything.
That is really nice. That does make for good.
Or worry about having matching socks. Like one is not, you know, a knee sock and the other one. Like make lederhosen on one side and a sports sock
ankle.
on the other.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah.
So.
Oh gosh.
That's where I am.
Okay.
That's what I've been working on. You finished what? You have like
I have quite a assortment of finished objects over here. It's like a cavalcade, a parade.
A cavalcade of finished objects.
I do.
That could be our title.
There you go. So the first thing that I finished is I finished Brian's Christmas socks. So here we go. This is where I was last time. So I finished up the heel and then the leg and the cuff. And this was knit out of Barocco socks.
I love those.
Yeah. This is colorway 1433, dye lot 3801.
What?
If you want the exact yarn that I am using.
Don't vary one bit because this is perfection here.
No, contact me. You'll get the exact numbers of everything, and we can be twinsies for our socks. And so yeah, I think, you know, they're a tiny bit rough. If you want to feel, I might end up
rustic.
Yes, I'll probably end up washing them before I put them in the gift box. You know, give them a good soaking and some soak.
Now this would be a good chance to try out too if you got a sample of, I'm going to forget her name, the lady who's the shepherdess in California.
Yes.
What's her name?
Don't know.
Natalie Redding. She has a soak that she swears softens everything, makes it lovely. It was developed by some of the chemists from Redken. Redken? Is that Redding?
Sure.
From the Redding, Jerry Redding. The guy who did the Jerry curl. Anyway, they chemically came up with a formula that is just super great at softening wools.
Well, I must try it.
You should.
I should.
You're saying that, but I can tell in your eyes that you're not going to.
Probably not. No.
This is just her agree with mom so we can move on face.
No. Actually, yeah.
Yeah.
no no ill respect or
Right.
disrespect.
No disrespect for
No.
Mr. Redding, but
No,
yeah.
or for you. But no, I probably won't do that. I'll probably just use soak, and if it's really bad, I might use some conditioner and let it soak in there, and then, yeah.
I use conditioner on a yarn that I had spun that was a little bit more rustic, and I tell you, I think it made it worse.
Oh no! Well, I don't want to do that.
I'm not saying don't do it. I'm saying if you
Yeah.
try it, you can always just wash it out. But
That's true.
It just made it kind of, I don't know. It was not the right conditioner for it. It works fabulous on my hair, but not on that. Not on that particular breed I was using.
Good to know. I needed some incredibly mindless knitting, and so I found in my 8 oldest skeins. Remember that goal to use in my 8 oldest skeins? Yes. So this was one of them. It is now a burp cloth to go into the gift box. And this was a skein of Lion Brand cottonies in the snow colorway. And it's nice and squishy and soft and
right.
Yes. So this will end up a gift for somebody.
How did you enjoy knitting that?
It was so mindless. It was perfect.
Yeah.
There was absolutely no thought involved. You know, I mean, I cast on, I'll give you the formula. You cast on 80 stitches, you just knit garter the whole way until you're almost out of yarn.
Could you write that up for me?
Yeah. I'll be publishing it as a PDF. And no, not really, because that would just be silly. There are a lot of silly patterns out there, though. You know, where that's, you know, you don't really have to really actually think about it.
Right.
Yeah.
But you know what? Sometimes, do you remember when you were first starting that sometimes that you felt like you needed a pattern for even the most basic things?
Right. So. Definitely. I've been there. Trust me. Okay. Next thing I have finished. There's more. The next thing that I finished, I actually just finished this last night, is the basic Norwegian star hat. Ta-da!
Isn't that neat? I love that pattern, don't you?
I do.
It just has all the goodness in one place there.
Yes. So this was a free pattern on Ravelry, and that is the name of the pattern is Basic Norwegian Star Hat. I don't remember the name of the person who designed it, but there you go. It looks like this. I knitted out of Cascade 220 in 3 different colorways of yarn.
Why don't you hold it up so they can see too? One more time. I love it.
And this is the hat that Evan has claimed for himself. I did, since it is for a child and it is rather big at this point, I did modify the decreases to decrease every row instead of every other row, just because I didn't want it to be so incredibly big for him that, you know, it would be ridiculous when he wore it.
Right.
It already, you know, covers up quite a bit of his face. But that's
he's
okay.
growing,
He'll grow
though.
into it.
He will.
Yes. So this turned out rather nicely, and I posted a picture of it on Facebook and Instagram last night, and Brian was like, "Did you knit this today?" I was like, "No." I actually started it April 8th, so but it spent a lot of time in hibernation.
Sure.
Just because I had to be in the right mind frame in order to do it. My brain is not always ready to do intricate color work at a moment's notice. Shocking. And there's more.
Whoa.
I also spun up some yarn.
Oh, isn't that pretty?
This is Fiber Nymph Dye Works.
What?
This is 100% Falkland.
So that's the same dyer as what I'm knitting right now.
That's right. This is the Kaleidoscope colorway, which was an exclusive colorway for SSK 2012. And I got 320 yards.
If you're not familiar with SSK, that's Super Summer Knit Together, right?
Yes, from the Knit Girls.
And they have a retreat, basically a fiber retreat.
Right. So let me show this to you. This is, look at this, Mom. It's balanced.
Love it. It is lovely.
Thank you.
And how did you spin it and how did you ply it?
I spun it on my Ashford Traditional, and it's a 2-ply, and I really didn't do anything really special with it. I just spun it up as nicely as I could and crossed my fingers when I plied it that it was good.
That's great. And do you know what your yardage is?
320 yards.
Awesome. That will be enough to do lots of things.
I think so.
It'd make a pretty scarf like what you're wearing, wouldn't it?
It would, definitely. So I'm very happy with that. I think it's one of my more successful spins as far as the end result and technical stuff. Even though I don't know a whole lot of technical stuff when it comes to spinning.
Just say it. People will be impressed.
Thank
Technical
you.
stuff.
Yeah.
All the technicalities were perfect on this.
Exactly. I really nailed all the technicalities.
The grist, the angle,
all of it. So technical. So good. I also knit this, my Adama cowl. This is out of Malabrigo Rios in the Aguas colorway. And I love this. Love this.
And what do you love about it?
Everything I love about this. Here's what I love. So the pattern is so well written, and I believe it's a $5 pattern on Ravelry. It might be $5.50. Don't get on to me about 50 cents though. Okay, so if it's $5 or $5.50,
got it.
Yeah. Don't send me messages.
Oh, she's on her last nerve, people. Don't go on her. Don't get on her last nerve.
No. So yes, but I love everything about it. It starts out as you would knit a regular shawl, and then you connect it in the back, and after doing some increases, and then you just knit it in the round. And I think it's brilliant, and I love that there's not so much like fabric in the back of my neck,
and nothing to fall off your neck either.
Nothing to fall off my neck. And I love, I'm gonna
and
get
it's
up
not
again.
tight around your neck either.
No, not at all. It's nice and loose, as you can see here. I'm not going to show anything, but it's nice and loose. And then I love the beautiful pattern.
It's really pretty.
In the color, or not in the color work, in the lace sections here.
What is the weight of that particular yarn?
The Rios?
It looks like it's not worsted, is it?
It is worsted.
Bulky? It's worsted. Okay.
Yeah. But I love it bloomed rather nicely when I washed it. So
maybe that's what I'm seeing then. Yeah.
It has a nice feel to it. You have to feel.
It looks so comforting, like squish.
Yes.
It is squish. Yeah.
Yes, for sure. Well, I'm really glad that you like it, because I made one for you too for your birthday. It was Mom's birthday.
What?
So I used
because I was thinking I need to knit that. Now I don't need to.
No, I made one for you.
Oh, and I even get some of the yarn.
You do. You don't have a lot in these kinds of colors.
No, I need it. Well, you could see how well it would go with this.
Yeah.
Right? Oh, that's perfect. Yay! Thank you,
You are so welcome.
Let's see if I can do it without hitting the microphone, shall I?
Okay, here, I'll do this.
Okay. Oh my goodness. That does feel fabulous.
Doesn't it?
Uh-huh.
And not a lot on the back of your neck.
Which is good for me.
Yes.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, how cute.
And now we can be twinsies.
Yay! Oh, I love it. Thank you so much.
You are welcome.
You tricky. I never even saw you working on that. Were you working on it in front of me at all?
No,
Okay, well, that's why, I guess.
I knit that in like 3 days.
Really?
Mm-hmm. It's a really quick knit.
Oh my goodness.
And I kind of played yarn chicken on the gray yarn a little bit. I was kind of nervous. I was really glad that I had this to, kind of interject some color, but also to add to the yardage.
That is adorable. Yay. Perfect.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm so glad you like it.
I do. And, I have to say, I did make one other bandana style scarf that was not good proportions. I love these proportions.
I think it's nice and long.
Is that it? Because I'm trying to think. Because the other one I did, maybe it was a little tighter around the neck and shorter, and that didn't work for me.
No.
This one, love.
Perfection.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Yay. Good for you. You're always so good at those gift-giving things.
I try.
Good job.
Thank you.
I love it. I'm going to stare at myself now.
You look gorgeous. You do.
I love it.
Stunning woman, you.
Love.
All right.
Anything else that you have finished?
I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 things is enough.
Probably.
It has been like 3.5 weeks. So,
has been.
there's
I
that.
do, let's see. We have any, did you acquire anything?
I did.
Okay.
You want me to talk or do you want to talk?
No, I'm happy to hear you.
Okay. So, last week, I think it was last week, we went to Tuesday Morning, which is kind of a discount store, because
Would it
we
be
had
equivalent
some,
to Big Lots or something like that?
yeah, kind of. It's got nice things in it.
It's reselling like merchandise that stores have
Kind of liquidated.
Yeah. And so you get some really nice things
Oh, yeah.
for really good prices.
And sometimes you find crafty things there.
What?
I once got some Chow-gu needles there.
Wow.
I know. And people have seen Noro there and Madeline Tosh and
Wow.
a lot of, nice things.
That's kind of surprising, isn't it?
Yeah. Now they also had like Lion Brand when I was there.
That's handy.
That's right. So they have, a wide range of types of yarn, ribbon yarns and wool yarns. They had some more rustic kind of yarns that I almost picked up, but at some point you have to say,
You do.
you have to make
Especially
decisions.
since, I seem to remember that at your knitting group, perhaps you might be on a what?
A stash down?
A stash down. And so this really fits in well to that plan.
It really does. It does quite well. The way I look at it is I have gotten I finished 6 things.
You did, right?
So, you got to
the net effect
balance
is
things out.
You're still okay?
I
Is
think
that
I
it?
should be.
Okay.
Yeah. So I found this, it's from Universal.
Ooh.
It's Fibra Natura Italiano.
Now that has an interesting twist to it, doesn't it?
does.
It's like a spiral almost.
This is the dark gray color, and I picked up 5 of these, but I think it's a really nice yarn.
It is very nice. It looks round, very round.
It does. It's kind of coming off purple there, and it's not, I promise. It really is a dark gray, but it's nice and squishy.
Yeah.
Oh, you know, feel?
I wonder, can you tell how many plies there are there? I'd be very curious to know.
Let's look. What do you think? Probably like 6?
No wonder it's round.
Yeah, it's very nice. So this, it's a 50-gram ball, and it has 110 yards. So I have 550 yards to play with.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And it says that it was originally $8.50, and I got it for $3.99 a ball. I know.
Oh, you are a winner, my
So
friend.
thank you.
Winning.
Thank you. Yeah. So I'm really excited about this, and I'm
So is it going into your stash, or are you starting something?
no, it's going into the stash.
Okay.
I don't know what I'm going to do with it just yet.
Okay.
I want to kind of think about it a little bit, but
Okay.
I'm excited. What have you brought
Well,
into the stash?
I-
How have you gilded the lily lately?
I have something I'm so excited about.
You do.
And
I love it when you're excited about things. You get this
know.
twinkle in your eye.
And this is like, I've had it for a couple weeks even.
Yeah.
And, well, probably more than that, actually.
Uh-huh.
And I have, it has not waned, the
No,
excitement.
the love is still there.
I had, perhaps maybe the word would be pestered,
No.
our good friend Stephanie from the Rusted Stitch.
Yes.
And she's also
Hot
Pink Socks. I always try to make her red hot. And I said, I'm using her bag for my my sock blanket. Look at the
Yes.
lining, isn't that adorable? And so I said, I want a journal cover, in the style of the Midori and the Traveler's notebooks, where they have the center spine that is expandable so that you can add additional notebooks in. I'm going to get a little closer so you can see how adorable. Oh, it's turned backwards. Her Rusted Stitch button that goes on there, or charm maybe is the word. Isn't that adorable?
So cute.
And it is so well made. I'm going to stay up here so you can see it. It is so well made, and look at the lining.
Oh.
Right?
I love that.
And the elastics that she's using are so unique. They are, I don't even know what to say about them except for they're fabulous. And then, of course, she got my heart because the outside elastic is adjustable, and there's a button keeping it near the grommet there so it doesn't
Very
pull
smart.
through. And me and buttons, I'm all about it. I wanted to be able to put my art journals in here, and I'm actually going to make more, so I'm so excited for all of these, because I want to do different kinds of papers based on what I'm making or what I'm drawing. So I want to make a journal that has watercolor paper, a journal that has good sketching paper or mixed media paper, and maybe just something to doodle in. And so I could have a book for each, and she's made this big enough for me that it could be really super chunky, which is what I was hoping for, and she did, of course, and it's wonderful. This is a art journal that I did a few months ago, and I'm still working my way through it. And I won't go through the whole thing. I'm gluing things in here. I am, I'll do it. Just a quick, I'm taking parts of photos that I find in books and kind of repurposing them. I'm painting, I'm drawing, experimenting with different things. I did a little, my sister was doing a traveler's notebook where people gave messages to my niece Hannah. She's graduating, and they wanted to send her off with, I hope this is not a spoiler. No, she graduated. Like what? And so she wanted us to give her messages. So I gave her my favorite verses as part of the package. I told her what I loved about her, but I gave her 3 of my favorite verses. This is Psalms 139:16. And it says, like an open book, you watched me grow from conception to birth. All the stages of my life were spread out before you. The days of my life all prepared before I'd even lived one day. Look at the promise that's in that face. This is actually one of the royal family. There's a lot of promise in that. But you know what? We are royal family too, aren't we?
We are.
Because we belong to the King of Kings. And the next one was Mark 10:27. I've got a little doodad in the middle, so it's not showing up well, but all things are possible with God.
Oh, I love that picture.
She's probably at the horse races or something, but to me it symbolized looking forward into the future and just knowing that what we see today is not necessarily how things really are, because God is working out amazing things for us.
That's right.
He's working out through everything for our good and His glory, right? And then I've used this one so many times in my life, Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through Him who strengthens me. And I thought, oh my goodness, she's taking over as queen. And she's in military garb. She's riding the horse. And I wondered what was going through her mind as she went from being a princess and a lay person, more out of the public eye, into you are it person. You're the one.
Right.
Oh my goodness. And there are times when we feel ill-fitted for the job or ill-suited for the job that we have to do, right?
So true.
And so no matter what you're facing that seems impossible, all things are possible with Him. He knew about you before you were even born.
That's right.
And He's made you perfectly suited for the job He's given you to do.
No matter what the job is, big or small.
Yeah.
It's
hard to believe sometimes, isn't it?
It really is.
But those are like my life verses, the things that I've gone to over and over again. And I thought it'd be really nice to send Hannah off into her college life and her life beyond with those things that have really helped me in didn't know at the time I did this how much these verses would come in handy again, which we'll talk about more at the end.
Yes.
I did some sketching. This is my son Jared, who did a very soulful pose on my phone and left it as a random act of kindness, maybe. I don't know. And my brother sent a silly face, and so I documented it for all time. I'm sure he was thrilled. It was like some sort of, kind of face. Anyway, I won't go into the rest of it, but Heather sent me paint for my birthday, 2 tubes of beautiful paint that I experimented with here. So I documented that. Last night I worked on, this is Huck sleeping on my bed, and this is a bear that I have that lived in in the front drive of the home that I grew up in, and he's a wooden bear, and so I tried painting him. So I worked on those things, and they are in my favorite now journal. This is like a hug, I'm telling you.
I want to feel, because it is so soft.
You want to touch?
I do.
Yeah, it's just fabulous and really so flexible, because it can just be whatever. If I want to carry it thin, I just put a small notebook in it. If I want to carry it big and fat and carry everything with me, I can.
Yeah.
I love that flexibility.
That is really nice.
Doesn't it feel wonderful?
It does. It's so soft, and it is like a hug.
And you know, I do my art a lot of times like during stressful times or when I'm in bed at night, and so it's just like, it's perfect.
Yeah.
If you would love to have Stephanie make one for you, I did ask her first. She said she will be happy to make you one. And all you have to do is contact her at the Rusted Stitch. She has an Etsy store. You can contact her on Ravelry as Hot Pink Socks on Ravelry. But just message her and let her know I wanted gray. What a shock. And, you know, I know you will love it. And I thought it was extremely affordable, very well made.
Yes.
Everything she does is the best.
Top notch.
But I also wanted to share a couple other things. And one is, I have been, you know, at some point you kind of have to narrow in a little bit on where you're going to focus your extra dollars, if you have any. And you can't collect everything. And at first, the first year I spent trying out different media, you know, acrylics and colored pencils and all different things. And I think I'm kind of, now don't hold me to this, you know how I am.
Oh, this is on record.
No, not on record. But I think really that if I'm going to be purchasing additional art supplies, it's going to be in the direction of watercolor, because I'm finding that the most flexible for different environments. You know, like if I wanted to do like plein air, I think they call it plein air painting, which is like out in the fresh air, or like when you're out somewhere, a little hard to take all your bottles of acrylic paint.
Right. That is
Oils
true.
also a little bit more of a setup. Not that people haven't done that, they have, but watercolors are so conducive to portable, and that probably really is more in with my style. And I thought maybe that people would enjoy knowing, you know, it's you can get artist sets of watercolors. You can get student sets of watercolors. Start out with a student set and just see how you like it first. But once you've decided you love it, then as you get more into the artist quality, it's more expensive. So like that tube of paint that Heather got me was $14. But it is made from like ground stone. It is beautiful. I mean, it's really stunning. And so what I did, because I don't want to spend $14 on one color and not be sure I like it. So on Amazon, that's where I found it. I'm sure there are other places also. You can get, I'm enjoying Daniel Smith. I did a lot of YouTube viewing. What a shock. Daniel Smith is it's just widely available on Amazon. It's beloved by many people. I mean, everybody's got their favorite paint, but I'm really enjoying Daniel Smith. And so what you can get from Amazon is this color chart that has they've taken a little dab out of a tube and they've let it dry here, and you activate it with water again and you can use it. Obviously I have used every color here.
That's brilliant.
Yes. And now this was like, I believe this one sheet was like $6, which I thought was very affordable. For $20, you can get 250 of their colors, I think it is. Don't hold me to that, but it's a big number. So you can try many, many colors, and then I just started experimenting with them. You can do a lot of people will do a color chart of them. I just started playing, and then if I really liked something, I would put a little heart next to it. And so my top two that I liked were on this chart.
That's
And
great.
when I got the new tubes, I had used them all. I just put a new smidge on them, and I have tucked. This is a big piece. This is a piece of watercolor paper, I would say.
Right.
And so I just re-anointed this with a dab of paint, and I stick it in the back of my book, my art book. So all I need is my my water brush.
Yeah.
and I can paint wherever I am
That
with
is so
just
smart.
my journal and my water brush.
That's great.
So now that's not, if you're a big fancy artist, that's not going to be enough for you. But I thought when these colors are mostly gone, I'm just going to get a piece of watercolor paper and do the same thing. I'm just going to put a dab, write the color name on it so I don't forget if I run out, and just use it that way for a while. I might even make a book that will slide in here on one of these elastics that will just be for my watercolors, my watercolor palette. But for now, I'm thrilled with it, and it's been such a joy.
That's awesome.
So that's a fun thing. Last thing
Yeah.
is, I'm sure some of you have noticed that I wear a jade bracelet on my arm.
I have noticed that.
You have. It's made
Yeah.
noise lots of times. And this is the bracelet that we got on a family vacation when we went to Ghirardelli in San Francisco, where they make the delicious chocolate. You get to
My
see.
mouth's watering.
Oh, it's like, yeah, totally. And I got this. And
At the chocolate place or at a
it was
at a jewelry store nearby?
in the area. It's in a plaza, and so it was at a and they have a big Asian influence in San Francisco in different areas too. So it's easy to find things like this there. So I've worn this for many, many years now.
Yes, you have.
And so I have wanted something like, I thought I wanted like a mother's ring or something like that to, just as a, I don't know, just honoring what a privilege it's been to be your mom and to be the mom to all four of my kids. And I never really found a ring I liked. I have rings that I wear. This is a ring my husband got me. It's a freshwater pearl. And he got it on one of our vacations many, many years ago. And so I try and wear that. And this is a ring my mom got me that she gave me, passed along from my dad. So those are kind of sentimental to me. So I thought maybe it's not practical for me to get a ring anyway.
Okay.
So you might have noticed that there's like a style people are doing where they're wearing lots of bracelets. And so I decided that as I go through the year, as I get to the month where it's someone's birthday month, that I'm going to try and make a bracelet to honor them. So I will wear it instead of a birthstone ring, it'll be birthstone bracelets.
Yeah.
So last month I got these, was May, I got the emeralds, and these are not, this is not something that you would find in a fine ring or anything. They are, I'm sure, very poor quality, but I'm thrilled with them. They are little bits of emerald. And I got this this bead here to accent it, which I love. And so I made this bracelet for May. Finally got the, I am putting them on, I wanted to show you because this is one of the things I got too. I am putting them on Stretch Magic cord. And you can see this is the 0.5 millimeter. That is a very fine cord. And the reason why I got it was these emeralds and these freshwater pearls are the hole is so tiny that you just can't get a standard cord through there. It has to be usually like probably done on silk thread kind of thing. And so so for June I did the freshwater pearls and this little mother of pearl accent. The rest of them I'm not going to put an accent on. I just did it on these two to be able to hide the knot that I used to tie, and it obviously goes nicely with my ring. I got the pearls, the emeralds I got on Etsy. If I remember right, it was like $15 or $20. I splurged on that. The freshwater pearls, I used my 40% off coupon from Michael's, and they were normally $8, about a little less than $8, and so I got 40% off. And these I got a string of these mother of pearls. I think they were like about $5 or less. And then I had extras, of course, because they came in a string, and I only used one, so I made a matching earrings.
Beautiful.
To wear with it.
You're so crafty.
Thanks. So when it's July, and we have 2 July birthdays, I'll be finding a July one. I won't be adding an accent to it because I think I've got enough accents on my wrist.
Okay.
And if I decide I don't like having accents at all, I will just restring it.
It's easy.
Right?
Right.
So that's what I'm doing, and it makes me feel good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like I feel like the older I get, this is not a shock. The more like memento-y I'm feeling. I've always been a memento-y person, but it's like it's such joy in looking down and going, this was a family trip, and this is my husband, and this is my mom and my dad, and this is my birthday, and this is my husband's birthday, and
Yeah.
you know, it's just like all these wonderful memories that come back. And you know, if you're struggling at all, aren't those the things that really center you again? You know, like when you hear these horrible stories about, like in our state of Missouri, where we have had bad tornadoes go through and just devastate areas. You never hear well, I don't think you ever hear people lamenting the loss of their things. They are instantly centered on what's most important.
Right.
They say, my family's safe.
Right.
That's what I care about.
Right.
And I think that is what this does for me, is it helps keep me centered. And when I look down, I think that's the most important thing. You know,
Right.
my love for God,
Right.
and my family,
Right.
obviously friends, you know, people. That's what this world is about. It's not about more stash.
Right.
You know,
Although that is fun.
stash is super fun, but
Yes.
when your life is peeled down to basics,
Right.
it's relationships that really matter most to me. So
Yeah.
that's what I've been doing. I wonder if some of you might be interested in commemorating your love for your family in some way, either a piece of jewelry or something that you're knitting. Why don't you share if you have chosen to honor motherhood or your family with something tangible? I'd love to know, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Have you done anything? You're still fresh in it, but I'm just saying. Yeah,
I don't
you're
think I
living
have.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
See, for me, it's coming to a closure in my life. That's why I'm thinking about it. You know, not that I'll ever not stop being your mom, but parenting is coming to a close, and so I feel that need to kind of honor it. What a privilege it's been.
Yeah.
To be a parent.
Yeah.
And I know there are those of you that maybe haven't had that privilege of being able to be a parent. Please don't feel like you're not important, because I know that the people who long for that type of relationship very often are expending energy investing in other people's lives, even though they're not a child. And that is equally as important, don't you think?
Absolutely. I think of Owen's 5th grade teacher, Miss Chambers, and she is a phenomenal teacher, and you know, has a very deep desire to be a mother at some point. But you know, it's not happening for her at this time in her life, and so you know, she nurtures her kids in her class and has a long-standing relationship with the children that she has taught over the years. She's been a teacher, I think this is her 10th year of teaching.
She made a big impression around our house, didn't she?
Oh my goodness, yes. And you know, she's you know, has a birthday party every year, and she invites past students that she has had in her classes, and you know, goes and sees her students you know, play sports and you know, recitals, and you know, she is the kind of person, she is a mother at heart. And so whether or not she has you know, biological children, she has kids. You know, she is a mama in her heart of hearts.
And maybe you're not nurturing another child, but maybe you're nurturing a friendship.
Of course.
In the same way, we all have that need to have a connection. So however you choose to make that connection, how might you be honoring that in your own life? I'd like to know. Yeah.
Should we do project craft?
Let's do project craft.
Okay. I did not even bring my book down.
I didn't do a thing.
I didn't either. But we did receive a prize from Nitty Kitty Bags.
Yay!
Look at this cute little card.
That's adorable.
little cat on the front.
So adorable.
And she sent us some tea.
What?
Yes, would you like to hold on to those?
Passion fruit and papaya.
Hello.
That's me. And raspberry black. Ooh.
Yes.
Yum.
So Wendy is the owner of Knitty Kitty Bags. Look at the cute cards too.
Oh, so adorable.
Yes. And she is on Instagram as Knitty Kitty Bags. She is on Etsy as Knitty Kitty Bags. And she just said thank you for allowing her to to sponsor a gift. And so this is an adorable size bag. I'd say it's probably what, like 8 by 8, you think? I didn't get a chance to measure.
I think this is
It could be a little bit bigger.
8.
I'm thinking
I
of
think
like
this
this
is like, yeah, it's probably bigger than 8. A little bit.
Yeah.
Well, the inside would be probably 8.
Mm-hmm.
Don't hold
And-
us to that though.
Yeah. We're
Look
eyeing
at the
it.
color inside.
Isn't that pretty?
And cute little tag with her name on it here.
Mm-hmm. And so we
A nice bottom.
yes, so we already drew the winner just because we didn't want to fumble around on random.org to try and figure out the winner. So the winner of this bag is number 414, who is Miss Mandy Girl.
Really?
Yes.
Miss Mandy Girl. And I have to say, last podcast prize has still not been mailed.
I'm
but
sorry.
I will do, that's my fail. But we will definitely get that in the mail to you.
Yes.
Sorry about that. We
Miss
haven't
Mandy,
forgotten, though.
No, not at all. Miss Mandy Girl posted a picture of her journal page. Look at,
Oh my goodness.
isn't that beautiful?
That's adorable.
I'll show you.
And now you know what? You can double dip with the other group that Brianne mentioned.
Yes.
Doing the craft along,
Mm-hmm.
and possibly get a prize there too.
Yeah.
And so I have to say, just because we're not doing it right this minute does not mean that we are still not running it. Go for it. If you want to do it, and we still have the thread,
Oh yeah.
we'll still be giving away prizes
Through the end of June.
And I will step back into it when I'm able.
Yes.
But adorable, Miss Mandy Girl, look at you.
So yes, please contact me, being Brianne, on Ravelry, and give me your address so I can mail this out to you, and I will mail out the ruler at the same time.
Great, and that's the wonderful ruler by my best
Bud.
friend, Ann Bud. I had to think, what was my best friend's name?
Han Hud.
Han Hud. And that's the see-through one
Yes,
that allows
the
you to
gauge.
line up your stitches and see what gauge you're knitting at.
Brilliant.
Uh-huh. And
Love.
I have to say, it's probably become my new favorite ruler.
Is it really?
It's very handy for more than just knitting.
That's good to know.
Yeah,
I
it
like
really
it when an accessory, a tool can be used for more than one type of
It's not
craft.
bulky. It fits in. You could slide it in the edge of my journal. So when I want to get a straight line, I can.
Brilliant.
Yes. Wonderful
right.
things. Well,
Yes.
if you joined us just for the knitting part, this is probably it, isn't it?
This is it.
The rest of it's going to be family update, so you can kind of see what's been going on in our life, what kept us from podcasting for a little while. And so stay tuned if you want to hear family news.
Yeah.
Okay? If
All
you're not,
right.
we'll see you next time.
Family news.
Family news.
So it would be 2 weeks ago tomorrow
Okay.
that I was with my grandmother who has dementia, and I take care of her a few days a week, and my cousin takes care of her some days a week, and she has a live-in caregiver who takes care of her when we are not there.
And that's my mama.
Yes, that's Mama Linda's mama. And she was not feeling well, and it was she just really just very suddenly became ill.
She was kind of feeling nauseous.
Yeah.
And a little achy. And she wanted to go to bed. And
Yeah, and stopped talking, which
Said
is
she had heartburn.
very unlike her to want to go to bed in the middle of the day and to not want to talk.
It was my turn to come and sit with her. And
And you came a little bit early, for which I was
did.
very thankful, since she wasn't feeling well. And, I think this is a great opportunity to talk about the symptoms of heart problems for women are not the same as
Yeah.
heart problems for men. And I think we all know what the symptoms of heart attack for men are. You've got the,
radiating
gripping
pain
chest,
down your left arm.
right, and the it feels like there's an elephant sitting on your chest, and those kinds of symptoms are symptoms for men. Women oftentimes have very different symptoms.
Yes.
And we ended up looking up symptoms for what this could be. And
well, let's put it this way. It was so confusing that it wasn't, I sent Brianne out to get Pepto-Bismol for her because she said she had heartburn and nausea, and I can't believe I didn't have any. I normally carry it with me, but I called her back from that because in the meantime I had just felt this like nagging, I don't know. I think it's the Holy Spirit. What happens when, the Lord just taps you in your conscience and says, maybe this is something you need to pay attention to.
Those little nudges.
And it was one of those, and I looked up again on what the symptoms of heart attack were in women, and called Brianne back, and I said, they're probably going to laugh at me at the hospital, but I think let's just take her in. And so Brianne hightailed it back, and I was so thankful you were there because trying to manage car and getting Mom in and everything, it was really helpful. And they took us right in.
Oh yeah. I mean, the parking lot is literally maybe 100 feet away from the ER, and by the time I parked and ran in, she was already back in the room and they had an EKG going. I was like, wow, so fast.
When you say heart trouble at the ER, you don't wait.
No,
and
you
so
don't.
I was very thankful for that, but feeling really embarrassed. I go, oh my goodness, I'm going to be so mortified. And they are very sweet, and they say, you know what, profuse bleeding and heart attack, those are things that get to go straight in.
Stroke, you get to go straight
in. And so they'd never feel embarrassed about that because you always want to err on the side of caution.
Right.
By that time, she was feeling better.
Right.
And she was just kind of acting normal, and so because Mom has dementia, she's not a good reporter of her own symptoms. We really have to advocate for her. So by the time we got to the hospital, she just thought she was there for a general checkup.
Right.
She had no remembrance of what anything she had been experiencing, and she hadn't been experiencing it in a really horrible way. She was just going to go take a nap and try and sleep it off. And so it wasn't anything that alarmed her. And so they did some blood tests and found that she had the markers there for having had a heart event.
Right. She had a non-ST elevated myocardial infarction, which means she had a mild heart attack. And they decided to admit her overnight.
And at that time, I'm thinking, oh, thank you, Lord, that we've gotten her in early.
Yes.
And that we can catch this before it gets bad.
Right. And so the next day, we had family come and visit, and they decided to do an angiogram on her, which is basically where they take your right arm and
they usually do the groin, and I heard that the arm is a new thing.
It is, yes. And they go up your arm with a like a catheter type thing, or that could be wrong, but they go up your arm inside your vein and go into your heart, and they're able to take pictures of your heart using x-ray, and they see how your heart is functioning and try to find the blockages and determine how much blockages there are. And at that point they can do stents, and they can do other things in order to help relieve those blockages.
So we were told that that they would try and get out where the problem was happening, and that there would be something done to help. And stents are the first line of defense as far as I know, and then a bypass would be another option for things that can't be stented.
Right.
And that would be basically rerouting the blood flow in the heart.
Right. And that's a bypass is open heart surgery. That's full on.
Right. A stent is done just through that opening in the wrist and with their equipment. But bypass is crack open your ribs.
Right.
Big deal.
Right. So we all, as a family, there were several of us there, thank goodness.
Yes.
And the doctor came out afterwards, and
I looked at the nurse first. She was the one we had seen. We'd never even met the doctor. And I look at her, and she defers to the doctor, looking at him, and I thought, uh-oh.
Yeah.
She's not smiling. She's not looking at me. She doesn't want...
She was not the same person who came and met us in Pipa's room.
So I knew it was bad news.
Yeah.
I just didn't know how bad.
So what we heard was that she has severe blockages in all of her 3 main arteries, and from like 94 to 100%. And so really she only has like maybe 6% function in her heart. And
it's calcified also.
It is.
Which means it's crunchy, so it's not easy to get through.
Not something that you can stent. And they said that because of her dementia and because of the amount of work that would need to be done on her heart, she is not a candidate for bypass. And so we
said no doctor that he knows of would do that kind of invasive surgery on, because the stent wouldn't take care of it. It'd have to be open heart surgery. She's already weakened, and with the dementia and everything else, it would just be too much for her.
Oh yeah.
And so
so you get those words that you never want to hear.
I mean, I'm thinking that she's had to have stents or something, and then I hear he says, there's nothing we can do. Yeah.
Yeah.
And of course, tears are spurting out of my eyes.
Right.
It's like instantly I'm crying.
Yeah.
And it's interesting to see how different people react in different situations. My brother looks shell-shocked, and people are crying, and I'm trying to think of all the questions I want to ask. And it's a whole group of us there, but it's hard to think of all the things you want to ask.
Right.
And so we did the best we could with trying to come up with, what does this mean, and what do we do now? And he goes, I think you should take her home on hospice.
Yeah.
And so that was really, that word hospice is a hard thing to hear.
Well, because we associate that with your dad, who had
Yes.
pancreatic cancer and who
Yeah.
ended up on hospice. And not that we're saying there's something bad against hospice.
No,
but
hospice is wonderful.
absolutely. It's just that, our
It makes
memories
it more
of
final.
Yes.
It's like there's no getting around it. You know
No.
they are there to help you die.
And for those of you who don't know, hospice is basically medical care for people who are in their final days, weeks, months, year. They come in and provide comfort care for
Yes.
people who are in the process of passing away.
And that is a different mindset to be in. And even though we've been through it with Dad, for me, I'm finding it difficult. I catch myself saying, well, that's not good for her. She can't get better that way.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that, I think the other siblings, they don't say that,
Right.
but you can tell they are struggling the same way. You're wired to want to make things better.
Of course.
And now in our case, because I was trying to find out, well, what does this all mean? And trying to grapple with the new information I had. Some hospice is what do they call it? Is it palliative? Is that the name for it? That's care like antibiotics, things like that. Nothing like that. The place that we got affiliated with is one that my husband's sister worked with, and just recently left to do another line of work. But she recommended them, and they're wonderful.
Yes.
They're really good. But they, like I said, well, what if she gets bronchitis or something? Just the thought of her passing away from pneumonia or something like that
Right.
is sad to me.
Right.
Because I think that's a horrible way to go. And so, is there a good way?
In your sleep.
In your sleep, yes. So they will, if she has an infection, they will treat infection. They just are not going to, you're not going to use the paddles. You're not going to call.
No.
If she gets ill with her heart, we are trying to give her more oxygen through blood flow to her heart with nitro tablets and things like that.
We're treating pain.
But these things will not fix the thing that's wrong with her heart.
Because there is no fixing it.
There is no fixing it.
So
Yeah.
it's a different frame of mind.
It is a different frame of mind.
And it's difficult.
Yeah.
And she's having, several episodes a day, of chest pain, and it's hard to.
Yeah. We're having to
It's
step
hard
it
to
up
see.
from what we
Yeah.
were, which was trying to provide someone to be with her most of the day, with maybe the exception of a couple hours a day. Now she can't be alone.
No.
And we have a baby monitor in her room. And because of the dementia, she doesn't even think to call out for help. We have to just listen like you would for an infant for changes in her breathing.
Right.
I would just hear her do a little bit of a
Right.
and that would be like I'd have to go in and check, and she was having a heart event. And things like getting dressed are spurring on attacks sometimes, but she's able to walk to and from the bathroom and the living room sometimes and be fine. So the family is making trips out to spend time with her right now. My brother and his wife are here and giving us a bit of a respite, which feels good, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah.
And it's wonderful, you know, I mean, to be able to give them that time.
Yes.
Alone with her and being able to, you know, make some new memories with her and being able to say the things that you want to say.
Right. And that's, I mean, that is the blessing of having some warning.
Yes.
That something is coming.
Yes.
And we all know, we're all headed the same direction. We're all going to, no one lives forever except for in heaven. So this earth, the life on this earth is limited. And sometimes I think we forget that too.
It's true.
And so it also brings up thoughts for me because I'm getting older. I'm 58 now. What?
You had a birthday.
I can't believe it.
Yeah.
And I'm getting closer to approaching those days when my looking forward is shorter than looking backwards.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And none of us know what the future holds, but
it also spurred me on to, I called my doctor because I had been in January to get some blood work and have, just a routine checkup. And I was like, I need to know my cholesterol, and if it's high at all, I'm going on medicine.
And I called my doctor again, and I've been on 2 different cholesterol medicines that resulted in extreme pain for me. I'm one of those apparently that has trouble with that, and so I asked her for another recommendation. Can we try something else? Because I can't seem to have my cholesterol be good without medicine, and I'm like, let's try one more time.
Yeah.
But I think that it is precious for Mom. We decided not to continue telling her. The doctor told her the truth. She doesn't remember, even many times doesn't even remember she has heart trouble. So to continually hear that you're dying, basically, that's not kind. That's not love.
No.
So she knows she has heart trouble when we remind her.
Yes.
Like, why am I taking these tablets?
Yeah.
Mom, you had a heart problem, and so this is to help your heart.
Yes.
But I think in her mind, she thinks the tablets are going to make her better.
Yes.
She's not grasped.
And we allowed the doctor, of course, told her, but we decided as a family immediately after getting the news that we were not going to tell her, just because, like you said,
she wouldn't retain it.
No.
And we went through this with my grandmother. It's like hearing that your loved one, like where's, she would say stuff like, where's Jerry? Well, that's her son. Well, Grandma, Jerry passed away, and she grieves over him all over again. And so I don't think that's kindness.
No.
So she knows, we will say, you have a heart problem, and here's the medicine for it. And so she's accepting that, finally taking medicine, which we're thrilled about.
We are
no more hiding medicine.
Yes.
But what a privilege to be able to return the love and kindness that my mom has showed me over the years, and really shown so many other people.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I can probably think of 6 or 8 people off the top of my head that Mom has either taken into her home, or she has gone and spent weeks nursing them back to health. And she's never required that from anybody.
No.
And so she's like apologizing. I'm so sorry you have to get up at night with me. And I'm like, it's my privilege to do this for you. To be able to love on her and just to over and over tell her, I love you, Mom. You're such a good mom.
Yeah.
And tell her all the things, that I was going to show this. Because of the dementia, she's not able to retain the things you say. I don't want her to ever, while she's still on this earth, to ever think that I am anything less than totally in love with her as my mom. And so I started writing notes that I'm going to be taking to her when I'm going, so she can have them out and read them and reread them.
Yes.
And they're all different things I love about her. And she has been so generous. She's always, been kind in her words toward me, but she has been so generous lately, these last few weeks,
Mm-hmm.
Linda, I love you. Linda, you're so smart. Linda, you're beautiful. Linda, I remember when you came to our family and everybody was so thrilled that you were born, and you've done such a good job with your kids, and I love your daughter. I love your sons. I love Heather, and just all of these beautiful words I'm just drinking in, and they're like my treasure. I am like so thankful that I get the chance to memorialize her. That's why I decided to start working on these again, to memorialize her while she's around to hear it.
Right.
And I'm writing it down because I don't want a moment to go by that she can't lift something up and see my love around her.
Right.
What a privilege.
It is.
It's
It's an honor to be able to be with her.
it's exhausting,
Yes.
but it is an honor,
Yes.
and I wouldn't trade it for anything.
No.
And so I don't know what some of you might be going through. She says, what she said too was a gift. I'm not afraid of dying, she said. So what makes me wonder if subconsciously she's registering hospice is here. She doesn't even register that.
Right.
But she says, I know where I'm going. I know I'm going to heaven, and I'm so excited to see my family that's already there, the people
Right.
I have gone before me. And she says, I've lived a good life. But she goes, I don't want to go one moment before it's time. Yeah, and she says, I think of heaven as a party every day. If people get tired of me hanging around, I'll just go to the next group of people.
That's right.
So,
She's so funny.
these are, a podcast is a difficult situation because it is about, people usually go to a podcast for cheering up, right?
Yeah.
You go there for good things. And so I don't want this to feel like it's a horrible thing. It's life.
It is.
And I bet there are people out there right now going through similar situations. And I would just encourage you, even if you don't have someone close to death, don't wait to say the words
No.
that you want to say.
Oh, goodness.
I love you, Brianne. I want you to never doubt that. I am
Yeah.
so proud of you. You are such a fabulous daughter. And I wouldn't change a thing about you. I think you're perfect the way you are. I love the way God made you.
Thanks, Mama.
And I want all of you, keep short accounts. Just don't hold grudges. Don't hang on to yucky things from the past. If you haven't contacted a loved one in a long time, do it.
Yeah.
Don't wait.
No.
And say the things you want to say, and just love each other while you have each other. It is
Yeah.
precious.
It
Just a
is.
reminder of this life on earth is fleeting,
Yes.
and there is more.
Yeah.
But make sure the life that you have right now is counting, and you don't have any regrets later that I should have told Mom I loved her. I should have
Right.
told her how wonderful she was.
Right. Yes.
And if you didn't get a chance, if for some reason your loved one didn't give you a warning, don't beat yourself up over that.
No.
I think you go on and you love the people that are left to the best of your ability.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
Absolutely.
Yeah. What are you learning? Are you feeling like there's something that's on your heart for what you've been going through? Because you're going through it as much as I am.
I think just very similar things to what you've said. It makes me interact with my children differently. And it makes me my husband and I, we've had some deeper conversations lately about if something were to happen to you, what now's the time for us to talk about what is it that you want to happen, how do you want to handle things? And it's not always easy conversations,
No,
not
we
always
always-
fun conversations.
Those are the conversations you usually want to put off till later.
Yes.
No.
But you are never guaranteed
No.
how much time you get
Right.
for yourself or with someone else. And I
Yes.
want to, like you said, I want to love on my family the best that I can. And that includes making sure that we have, that I know, what my family would like to have happen to
Right.
them.
John and I have talked, what choices do we make now that will make later easier?
Yes.
If one of us is left,
Right.
we don't want to get into something like because we're renting.
Right.
We'd like to have a home, but let's make sure that home is something that's manageable by one person,
Right.
and not something that requires additional help that we can't afford, and then we've got to make some big changes again. So there's a lot of good conversations that come out of these times, and I've cried my share of tears.
Yeah.
But I also feel there's part of me that feels that this is a blessing.
It is.
Because dying from dementia to me is a horrible way to go.
Yes.
Where you lose more and more of, what brings you joy in life, which is the people. And there are people that I know that are living with dementia, and the quality of life is not good.
Right.
And so the thought that the doctor says many of these patients die in their sleep. Now, he might have said that to comfort me. Yay him, if that's the case.
It worked.
I'm not Googling that. And so that is a comfort.
Yes.
Because I think,
We were looking at probably having to put her in a facility in the next year or so. And so, the fact that she'll be able to pass away at home, in her home, in, the comfort of her own bed, that is a treasure for her.
And which is her wish, yeah.
Absolutely.
So we are rallying the troops, and
Yes.
we're getting her as many helps as she can. They're sending a chaplain once a week.
Oh my goodness, this chaplain comes and sings with her
Yeah.
and talks with her and listens and prays, and it's so neat. I mean, there's just a lot of wonderful help out there for her right now, and we are taking all the help that we can get.
We are. Yeah, they have volunteers that come and will just chat with her, or they'll play games with her. She's not a game person, but they would if she wanted to. And so she's getting lots of good visits.
Yes.
She's probably happier than I've seen her in a long time, actually.
Yeah.
Now, so I feel sad, but I feel good about all the love that's being poured into her. And I feel proud of everybody coming together and working together to try and make sure all the hours are covered. And we're still in the midst of trying to come up with a schedule that doesn't exhaust everyone.
Right.
And so we're working that out, but so far everybody's been really good about trying to be flexible. So is there anything else that we need to say?
So hopefully we'll be able to keep the podcast on a more regular schedule now that we've kind of are getting into things a little bit more. But we'll let you know if we're not able to podcast for some reason. It's kind of one of those things they weren't able to tell us. We think it'll be a month.
No.
They weren't able to say,
not
to
that
give us a
kind of thing,
time frame.
apparently.
Right. And so we are in the dark about that as much as you are. And so just be patient with us. And we know that you guys are very supportive of us, and we thank you so much for that.
And if she's getting near the end, I can tell you I'm going to want to be with her.
Of course.
And so that's where I will be spending my time, and I'll pop back on when I after. But in the meantime, we don't know that we don't have another year.
Yeah.
We just don't know.
And and to be honest, that's kind of part of the exhausting thing, because we know how
is.
tired we are now.
Yeah.
From being up late with her and, trying to help her. And
she's up probably, when I was there, 3 to 4 times a night.
Yes. And so, we're tired.
Yeah.
And, so just, be patient with us, and as we try to figure this out, and it's going to get more difficult as time goes on.
And maybe we can just in a thread, maybe we can do like a How Mom's Doing, or maybe better, I'm trying to decide the best way to handle it, because if we did social media, I don't know that she wouldn't be on there. Someone might be showing her pictures, and then she sees something that disturbs her.
I think, what I think we do?
What do you think?
With every podcast, I think we do like the Knit More Girls did, and we do a 1-minute health update.
Okay.
We do a 1-minute mom update.
Okay.
And just say, she's doing, she's holding steady, or, things are not going
Okay.
so well. And, just however things are going at the moment, we let people know.
Yeah, that sounds good. Let's do that.
Yeah.
And, we're going to keep on creating, because that is such a comfort.
Yes.
I mean, Jesus first, of course, but
Right.
To be able to have our hands busy doing something beautiful and comforting in our hands,
That is a blessing.
drawing in my journal, all wonderful
My
stuff.
6 finished objects.
Lots of stress there.
Can you tell?
Yeah. Well, we love you guys, and we are
Yes.
so thankful that so many of you have hung in there with us and have been with us, through thick and thin, huh? We call it the drama podcast.
Yeah.
But we know that life is like that for many of you too, that there are
Yes.
things going on. If you don't have it now, it'll happen at some point.
The
You'll
ups
have
and downs.
the ups and downs of life, and we're doing fine. God is just keeping us along the way, and we're trying to take care of ourselves.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yes.
In every way, spiritually,
Yes.
physically, emotionally.
Yeah.
I called Brianne down today even. I said, I'm laying in the dark in my bed. I'm hiding. Would you come hide with me?
Yeah. And I did.
And she did.
Yes.
And then she lured me out to podcast. So she's wily.
I am. It's true. I use my feminine wiles. I don't know that my feminine wiles work on you, but
Yes, you are sexy, my friend.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today. We love you guys, and we just love being able to interact with you and
Yeah.
talk with you on Instagram and Ravelry and all the fun places that we're at. So, in any case,
Yes.
we can't wait to talk to you again.
Yes.
So we're going to end this so we can get back to you sooner.
That's right.
All right? Love you, Mama.
Love you too, sweetie.
And we love you. And until next time, we want you to remember that you are knitworthy. Bye.
Bye, y'all.
I assure you, those who listen to my message and believe in God who sent me have eternal life. They will never be condemned for their sins, but they have already passed from death into life. John 5:24.
Okay.
You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Ready?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
We could say okay a lot of times.
We could. Like 5, 10, 15 times.
Okay.
Ready? Okay.
Ready? Okay.
Exactly.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I guess we're ready.
I think we're ready.
Okay.
Okay. Hello, and welcome to the Knitworthy podcast. Hello, friends.